Welcome, my friends, and this is the beginning of a brand new series called Things I Wish I Knew. And this episode is about surviving the holidays, right? Holidays are stressful. There are a lot of things going on. And also, if you are an ACA, there are a lot of emotional things going on as well. So let's dive right into it. If you are interested in learning some survival tactics around the holidays, please stay tuned. So when getting prepared for the holidays, if you are an ACOA, there are a lot of things that you are probably getting ready to face. Once you get past all of the gift picking out and our tendency to procrastinate and put everything off to the last minute, we are definitely our own worst enemies when it comes to that kind of thing. But let's talk about the heavier side of the holidays, because there are a lot of heavy things that we deal with when it comes to the holidays, and that has to do with seeing family, some memories coming up. We have wishes and wants about things that we want to be different this year versus last year or any other time in our life. When preparing for the holidays, it's not far-fetched to say that you would want to condition and prepare yourself like you would for a marathon, because it truly is a marathon, mentally and physically, for a lot of people. Number one, let's talk about your physical and mental health. You know, as ACOAs, we deal with a lot mentally anyway. We have depression and anxiety. Some people will even have PTSD, things that are just coming in on top of your normal day-to-day stress, which you also have. So you have to be even more resilient in the face of the holidays, because you have much more to overcome. You need to eat well. You need to get sleep. Sleep can be a challenge because our brains don't want to shut off. You need sleep. You need to hydrate. And, you know, everybody's probably sitting here rolling their eyes like, yeah. Yeah, but the majority of your brain is water. And your ability to function and reason and manage your stress when you're going to be in situations where you really are going to have to be able to do that. And sleep and hydration, eating well. You know, at the holidays, we eat all kinds of sugary, the peanut butter fudge, Martha Washington candy. I mean, I'm from the South. You know, we start preparing candy and cookies and everything starting Thanksgiving for Christmas, and that's just the way that it is. But we really have to be careful because our mood swings go up and down. And if we want to maintain some kind of levelness, I'm not saying cut it out completely, but, you know, just watch it. Just don't go overboard. Number 2, dying 1,000 deaths. Have you heard that saying? You're dying 1,000 deaths. What does that mean? It means that you live the scenario that you're dreading over and over and over before it even happens. If you knew that you were going out on the battlefield, say let's back in the Colosseum days when the gladiators were going out to fight the lions or whatever they had to do, and they had to sit and wait in anticipation of that moment over and over and over and over. It's like they're dying 1,000 times before they ever get out in the ring. We do that with things that we dread. We die 1,000 deaths. If you have family members that you know that you are going to dread being around, if you know there are conversations that you aren't going to want to have, you know someone is going to pick at your weight, pick at your clothes, pick at your hair, I would encourage you to channel your focus on things that are more positive. Easier said than done, I know. Put things in your ears that are more positive, whether it's YouTube videos of, kittens, watching whatever that you think is lighthearted and makes you happy, makes you smile. Your mind it's an untrained monkey half the time, and it's in there just going all over the place. Instead of trying to avoid and not do certain things, it's best to redirect your focus. Okay, number 3, procrastinators. We dread things, I think, so much sometimes, or we just think everything is just going to be such a big hassle. We get in a mindset of, it would just be so nice if, one thing would work out ever. So it paralyzes us, whether that's your Christmas shopping, whether it's planning a get-together, If you know that you're the one that's going to have to be preparing the meal for the family and you just can't muster the mojo to even want to get up and do that, you haven't been to the store yet, you haven't planned out what you're going to have, and whatever the things are, it's important to try not to look at it as such a big thing that you're going to have to do, a big meal, a big house cleaning, a big anything. It's important that you break these things down into small slices of things that you can actually get done in a relatively short amount of time, because we get overwhelmed when we think of something as a big, huge thing. Today, I'm going to sit down and write out a list of the things that I need. Tomorrow, I'm going to go by and pick up some of the things that I know don't go bad quickly. Just try to chunk things out. To-do lists, I think, are daunting in themselves. I'm not a big person of having to-do lists, but if you just feel like you've accomplished something small, and you were able to move forward in some way, and it creates some kind of momentum mentally for you, like, okay, I'm getting things done. Even though they're small, you're getting things done. They're small wins, and it helps your psyche. You just tell yourself, hey, I absolutely don't want to do this. I dread it so bad, but you know what? I'm going to do this for 3 minutes. Just 3 minutes. And just do that. And if you feel like going farther than 3 minutes after that's over with, then great. And if you don't, then you kept that promise to yourself, which I think is something that we need. We need that boost, that we can get things done, that we can achieve things. It proves to you that you can do it, and that you can do it well. So 4, what is next? Well, once we get closer to the holidays, as I mentioned before, we know that we are going to have interactions with folks that are less than ideal. There are 2 parts to this, I think. 1, you don't have to go. You're not obligated to go. It's very important as ACOAs, again, as anyone, that we surround ourselves with people that fill our cup rather than drain it. I think we feel guilty as ACOAs if we don't show up. We get the guilt treatment from the family members about how we don't care. And just know that it's okay if you decide not to go. It's okay. You don't have to. And this is kind of different than the 1,000 deaths thing. I think if you prepare yourself, if you are sitting and you're thinking about what potentially could happen, what could go wrong, it doesn't hurt to slice yourself into pieces sometimes in a way that you can bring certain strengths to the table at any given moment. It's like the United States of Terra, I guess, the dissociative personality disorder, and joking about all that. But there are parts of us that we need to tap into more at times than others. When you are thinking about a certain person being at a function, then you need to look into yourself and decide how you want to respond. Notice I said respond and not react, right? Because a lot of times when we're caught off guard, we react, and in a lot of ways we don't react in a way later that we wished we had. But if you think about things and you kind of anticipate what's coming up, and you decide how you want to respond in that moment, it gives you some power, which sometimes we really need, because we feel so helpless so often around the holidays. As adults, we're kind of brought back to a part of ourselves that feels so young and so raw and so vulnerable sometimes, that we need to bring out the protector for ourselves. And this is not the protector that pushes people away. It's not the ones that create the armor that doesn't let positive love in. But it's the part of you that decides that you're not going to take any shit off anyone either. And that you can let things go. You can choose not to have that argument. You can choose to listen to the dig about your weight, about your job, about comparisons maybe to other siblings, or just the guilt trips about you not doing enough. There are all kinds of conversations that are going to come. But you can prepare yourself. This year, this is how I want this to go down, and do your best at it. And this year, you may do that 50% of the time, and you may totally go off your rocker the other 50% of the time and fall right back into old habits and old ways, and that's okay. This is a process for all of us. You will get better. And the final thing I want to talk about is just learning how to recharge, where to go when you feel overwhelmed. You need to find those things that recharge your batteries and set you back at zero. For some people, that may mean getting out some aggression, going to the gym, hitting a punching bag, lifting some weights, listening to some really loud, heavy music. For others, it could be listening to music that's softer, relaxing, getting in the tub with the candles going. As many senses as you can involve, the better. If you just need to step out, take a walk, music. I will always recommend music because music is so powerful in pulling you back to center. Visualization exercises are wonderful as well at night, especially when the brain will not shut down. Sometimes it's good to make a mental list in your head, like you had the little index cards when you were younger. Write down all the things that kind of got to you that day. Tie it mentally to a balloon and let it go up in the air. Imagine that maid going through your mind and with the contractor bag even, and just picking up and getting rid of all that crap, throwing it in the garbage, and just dumping it out of your brain. As silly as that sounds, it's better to focus on something like that than listening to that voice inside your head sometimes, that the one that reminds you of every single thing you screwed up, how you were going on a diet today and you ended up going to the Italian restaurant with the folks at work and had all that mozzarella cheese and all that wonderful bread. Your brain is so great about reminding you about all the things that you do wrong. It's very bad at lifting you back up and giving you a pat on the back when you need it. And also, look for folks to talk to. And unfortunately, that is tougher than it sounds, because when you're talking about how, especially things that might have affected you in the past, how you kind of have struggles today, and people are like, oh yeah, everybody suffered. Everybody, there's so many people that's had a rough way to go, and it kind of diminishes your experiences, and that's not helpful to you. Maybe they're trying to be empathetic in some way, but it's just not. It makes you feel like you're almost being silly for worrying about these things or even bringing them up now, which, you have valid reasons. Just the fact that everyone suffers or so many people have it hard doesn't diminish the fact that you struggle with what you struggle with and why you struggle with that. I will leave you with one final thought, and this is not really a list, it's not a survival skill. It's just that you have the power to make these holidays anything that you want them to be. We used it too much as an opportunity to complain. It's forget the reason for the season, and it's too commercial, and it's just a headache. You got to go out and see all these people that you don't want to see and go to these parties and spend money. Okay, yeah, it can be all those things. But you don't have to do all that. You can make it what you want it to be. We all have to have those things that we look forward to. And to me, that's what Christmas can be about. Just that one thing at the end of the year that you can look forward to. For kids, we always felt that, right? Santa Claus and the toys, and it was just an excitement that we had. We need more moments like that in our life. We need to create more moments like that in our life. So I challenge you to do that. If Christmas and New Year's and all these holidays have a negative connotation to you from past experiences, then, shake it up. Shake that. I always use this, but it's so powerful. It could be like an Etch-a-Sketch. You have all this mess on this thing. Just shake it up and start over. It's okay to do that. It's your board. It's your design. My name is Reagan Boggs, and I thank you so much for taking the time to listen, and I hope you do survive the holidays.